Hello, how to file Form 944 for 2024. If you are going to print the document and mail it out, you can go to irs.gov and search the form there. We can just tap 944 and you should be able to find all the document related to it. You download the form, you download the instructions, you save it on your computer, and then you can use a copy of the form and complete it. And it's good to have the instruction on hand so that if a line is not clear enough for you, whether you should complete it or not, you can read the instruction related to that line to understand it better. There is options to e-file it as well. So let's get started. So when you have the form open, you will enter your business identification number, and just make sure you are using the right EIN for the right business. You'll put your business name, legal name, and we'll double check it to make sure it is the name the way you have it on the form you submitted to request the EIN number. And in this example, we can just put and then you will put a trade name if you have one, if your business has one. If your business does not have a trade name, you just leave it alone. You leave that section blank. In this example, we can just put that. Then you add your business address, and here we can just put street, city, states, zip code. And again, you can read more about this section if you are confused about how you should complete it. You will just have to scroll in on the instructions. You should scroll down. No, in fact, I think we are there. Let's go up a little bit. Yeah, you can read more about it. You know, if it's a little bit confusing, depend on your business type or entity, you can just read the instruction related to the the business name and EIN section. But for Form 944, you'll need your EIN, your business EIN for it. You see, you cannot use your social security number. Okay, so now we'll move to part 1, wages, tips, and other compensation. So if you pay wages, then for Form 944, which is employer annual federal tax returns, you are going to put how much you pay for the whole year. Let's summarize this a little bit here. Okay, and that will be 216.56. So probably we can try to minimize those to see if that will work for us. Prefer to have it on this side. Then we can make it a little bit bigger for us to see the numbers, and then we can bring this one and put it on the side here. Okay. And for Form 944, again, you see, we'll go to the instructions and see what they are saying about decimal or not decimal. So you do not enter $, decimal point, and things like that. They already have spot for it. But should we round or not round? Do not round to the whole dollar amount. Show amount for cents, even if it's 0. And then if there is a spot that is that your dollar amount is 0, just leave it blank, except line 9. You see, to file the form, it's okay to open the instruction and read through and just highlight the section that you find relevant, that you like to go back to and find easily. So we are going to put 216, and then we'll move to the decimal side and put 56. Okay, so hopefully it's not too small for you to see. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so federal income tax withheld from the wages. If we come to here, we didn't hold any, therefore we will leave this line blank as they instructed. Line 3, if no tips or other compensation are subject to Social Security or Medicaid tax, check that box and go to line 5. We are not going to check that box. We'll go to line 4. So line 4, taxable Social Security wages. We are going to put this dollar amount there because that dollar amount is subject to Social Security. Wages is subject to Medicaid. It's subject to Social Security tax. It's subject to Medicaid tax as well. So we'll put 216.56 and 216.56. There is no tips paid, therefore that line is blank. So now to this, you tell me by 0.124, and that 0.124 for half of it, you will have withheld from the employee's wages, and the other half your business will pay. The same things will happen here as well. Half of it is paid by the employee through withholding, and the other half is paid by your business. So we'll bring the calculator here, and then we'll go to 216.56 times 0.124, 26.85. So we'll put 26.85, and then we double check. Good. Now the next one is 216.56 times 0.029, 628. 628. Okay, let's double check. Good. So now we will compare those numbers to what we have on our spreadsheet. So we have 26.85, 628 for Medicaid employee and employer, Social Security employee and employer. Good. So now we will continue. Based on this salary, our wages paid we don't need to worry about additional Medicaid tax to withhold, because this is withheld from any employees that you pay $200,000, over $200,000 or $200,000 and more to in 1 year. But again, it is the instructions, and if you are filing a Form 944, it's unlikely that you are paying that much to one person in the business. But again, if it's related to your business, we will please read the instructions related to it. And again, for Social Security, there is a threshold as well, and I believe it's like $168,000, where you do not collect Social Security past that threshold. Again, don't quote me on that. It should be in the instructions. Okay, let's see if we will get to the threshold section. Okay, 168,600, and then you do not collect Social Security tax past that amount on the person that you pay more than that to. But for Medicaid tax, you will continue to collect Medicaid tax, and when you pay more than $200,000 to one employee, that employee will be paying an additional Medicaid tax. You, the business owner, are not going to pay that, but you will withhold it from the employee's wages that is over $200,000. So, but let's see if we can get back to page 5. Okay, let's keep it this way for now. So 4E, you total :2, 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, and you put it here. So you have two numbers there. We are going to total them. It's going to be, let's move this to the side a little bit. So it's going to be 26.85 plus 6.28, 33.13. So we are going to put 33, and in the cents area we will put 13. Okay, so line 5, total tax before adjustment. So you add line 2 and line 4E. Since line 2 is blank, so line 5 is going to be 33.13. So line 6, current year adjustment, and those are rounding. If it goes by rounding, then you'll make the adjustment there, but again, you can read about it as well in the instructions. And line 7, total tax after adjustment. So you total line 6 and 5, and here is going to be 33 because we do not have any adjustment to make. It's going to be 33.13. So line 8, qualify small business payroll tax credit for increasing research activities. If you think that's something that your business can benefit from and you are qualified for it, will you please read more about it? And there is Form 8974 that you might have to complete and attach as well. In this, though, it is not relevant to us. We are going to leave it blank. So line 9, total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credits, you subtract line 8 from line 7, and that will be line 9, and in this is going to be 13. Because there is this credit, pretty much decrease your tax, your payroll tax. But okay, so now we have line 10, total deposits for this year, including overpayment applied from prior year, overpayment applied from amended Form 944, Form 941, Form 941 PR. So total deposit for the year. So we are going to estimate that we deposited the full amount, therefore 3313. The balance due is the difference between line 9 and line 10. So if your line 9 is more than line 10, you owe money. If your line 9 is less than line 10, then you are owed a refund. Excuse me. So in this instance, where our line 9 and our line 10 are equal, that means we do not owe, we don't have any balance due, and we don't have any overpayment either. So if you have a balance due, it will be on line 11. If, and that is, your line 9 is more than line 10, your deposit, because your line 9 is the tax liability, and that is the line that they say now to leave blank. Let's say you are required to file Form 944, but you didn't make any payment. Therefore your line 1 will be blank, and then you check box 3, and you won't have any information here, and you'll go to line 5. It will be blank because you don't have any task, and line 6 will be blank. Line 7, will be blank as well. Line 8 will be blank. Line 9 you will put 0, but then line 10 will be blank as well. So line 9, it is the liability, and line 10 is the deposit. So if your line 9, your tax liability is more than your deposit, you have a balance due, you put on line 11. If your line 9, your tax liability is less than your total deposit, line 10, then you have overpayment. You put that difference between line 9 and line 10 on line 12, and then you check whether you want that to be applied to the next return or a refund to be sent to you. Okay, so now in our case where they are equal, we don't have a balance due, we don't have overpayment, so we will move to page 2. So we will move to page 2, and on page 2 you'll put your business information, and I'm just going to copy it from here. I'm going to paste it there. Okay. and then you enter your EIN there as well. So just make sure you complete the top page of page 2 with your business legal name and your business EIN. So line 13, if line 9 is less than 2,500, you check that box and you go to part 3. So we'll go back and check our line 9. You see line 9, the liability. If it's less than 2,500, which it is, then we check that box. If in your case it is not, and then you have to check this box, then you will be prompted to enter your tax liability for every month of the year, and the total should equal line 9. Therefore, it's good you track your payroll in a way that you will be able to put down the tax liability that happen every month. In this scenario though, because this happened in December, the tax liability, that 3313, is going to be just December. But again, it is less than 2,500, therefore we are not going to complete this session. So, but just make sure line 13M, which is the total of all those, will be equal to line 9, the total liability. There. Little bit high here. Let's go back. So part 3, if your business has closed or stopped paying wages, then you'll check that box. You'll enter the date, the final date that you pay wages, and you'll attach a statement. There is an instructions on how to do that, what should be on the statement as well. It seems like first the attachment should have your business name, your EIN, and you should put on that attachment which part of this form it is for and what kind of form it is. So form 944 and part 3, line 14, and that form will state that when the business closes and when and where the financial documents are going to be, with who, the name of that person and their address. So, but yeah, and you can read that in the instructions. You just have to follow the instructions to this area and read more about it. Part 4, may we do you want to allow an employee to speak with the IRS related to this specific form? Usually I just like to say no, but if you say yes, then you'll complete that session. Part 5. So part 5, if you are filing for your own business, then you pretty much add your name, you add your title, and then you add your phone number. Just an example there. And then when you print it out, you sign it, you date it, and then you make a copy for your business record. If you are filing it for your own business, you leave this pre-prepared section alone, because your business is not paying you to file the return. You are filing it for your business. If an employee of your business is filing the return, they leave this section alone as well, because you are not really paying them for filing the return. You are paying them for working in your business. If you are a pay preparer filing for a client, is in that scenario that you will complete this session, with you, the preparer's name, your firm's name, address, city, state, your business EIN, phone number, zip code. I'm not following it in the right order, but your preparer PTN number. And if you're self-employed, you check that box, otherwise you leave that box alone. And after you print the document out, you review it, you sign, you date it, your client sign and date it, you make a copy for your business record, and you make a copy for the client's business record, and the original sign can be mailed to IRS. But again, if you are filing for your own business, you leave the pre-preparer use session alone. So we'll go to the voucher session. If you are making deposits, okay, this now let's make it a little bit bigger. So if you are making deposits of the tax liability, you do not need to complete the voucher session. So I'm going to leave the voucher session alone. But if you are going to complete the voucher session because your tax liability is small and you like to pay with the return, the instruction right above it will guide you to know whether it is a good idea or not. There are instances where it is okay and there are instances where it is not. And when you are going to do that, there is instructions on how you should complete the check. I will recommend you use a check rather than a money order though, because you might have more space on the check page to write things down. But that's just me thinking. But yeah, you will be putting things on the check and you just read it and complete the check as instructed, so that they know that the check is for 2024 Form 944, and you do not staple it and you put your EIN on the check. You do not staple it to the voucher and you do not staple the voucher to Form 944. Those will be three pieces in the envelope. But again, if you are going to complete this session, you put your EIN, you put the dollar amount that the check is going to be written for, you put your business name, the address, the city, zip code, and all that. And you will cut this section off, write the check and this and the Form 944, which is 2 pages. The 2 pages of Form 944, this one and this one, you staple those two together, and then if you have the voucher, that'll be another piece, and then you have the check, that'll be another piece. In this instance, where we make deposits, we are not going to complete the voucher. Therefore, only page 1 and page 2 will be the 2 pages to print out, staple, review, and mail. Okay, so now that we are done completing Form 944, where will we mail it? Okay, so let's wait a little bit for this to... Okay. You'll go to the instructions, and let me go to that for you to see pretty much the latest version. Let's go back to 6. Page 6, I believe we should have something at the bottom here. Because we made payment, we are going to mail it without payment. You locate your state in the first session, state session. You locate your state. You have, I believe, 2 rows or so, but okay, so you go through this session to see if your state is here. let's say your state is here, then without payment address that correspond to the row where you found your state is the address you'll put on the envelope. So if you find your state is in any one of these lists here, then you'll use this address to mail your Form 944 if you are not going to include payment. If you are going to include payment and voucher, then you will use with a payment address that corresponds to the row that you found, to the row that has your state. Does that make sense? So now let's go a little bit up here. In our example where we are in Iowa, we are not in that first row, but we are on the second row. Therefore, in this list here, we have Iowa. Therefore, without a payment, we will use this address to mail the Form 944 that we just drafted. And if we were to add the 3313 payment instead of making a deposit, then we'll be using with a payment address that corresponds to the row that has the states that the business is located in. But yeah, so that is, how you find the address that you are going to mail your Form 944. So just make sure you complete your form well. And what I like to do is complete the form but not necessarily mail it, and complete your W2 and W3 with Social Security Administrations, and then make sure that way you can open your Form 944 and make sure things are well reconciled, because Social Security Administration, the W3 is the total of all the W2s. So for that W3, it's going to compare the federal income tax withheld and the Social Security wages, the Medicare, the taxable Medicare wages as well, and probably the total wages and this another compensation. So yeah, you just want to make sure those things matches with the W3, because IRS could compare them and make sure they are reconciled. So, and that is pretty much how you complete Form 944. If you are wondering who can sign the form on your behalf, they do have a session on that, but I'm not going to scroll all the way. It's just 13 pages. You can check it, but you, the business owner, pretty much will sign your return. If you are an LLC tax as an S corp, any officer of your business will be able to sign. If you are an LLC that file 1065, for instance, members of the business that are knowledgeable of how the business is run can sign. If you are sole proprietor, then it is you that will sign. But just, yeah, if you, I don't think that should be an issue, but if you are wondering who can sign the return, we'll please read a little bit about it in the instruction as well. Thank you. We thank you very much for watching our videos. We thank you for your time. We thank you for all of your comments. And we thank you very much, you all that subscribe to our channel. I'm Afiavi, Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and in our soap.com, our blog. on our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And filing your own tax return is one way to keep your business expenses low. Just make sure you file it on time. Form 944 is due by the end of January. Again, it will be in the instruction. Probably toward the beginning. And if you made the deposit on time, I think there is a lean way that you could go to February, but I just don't like those gray areas. I just like to keep it simple. But you can read more about it on page 5. Thank you. On that note though, at the beginning of the year, it is good you choose your deposit schedule. And the deposit schedule is pretty much how often you will be making your payroll deposit to IRS. They have the semi-weekly deposit schedule and they have monthly deposit schedule. And there is a rule behind it, which one to choose, and I have some videos related to that in the past. But again, I believe if you screen through this instruction, you should be able to find a little bit more about it in it. Or publication 15 might have more information on that as well. But just know that at the beginning of the year, it's good to choose your deposit schedule that you will follow during the year, making your payroll deposit. And if you are making your payroll deposit, there is no need of trying to pay with with a voucher and the form 944, where you can just make your payment online. And to make that payment online, let's go back here. You'll register to have an account with EFTPS, where you can just go and make your deposits. Thank you.